Hello and welcome to Zoom with Czarny. Today is Thursday, April 27th, and I'm very happy to bring you my interview today. Emily Essi. She is a new candidate for Onondaga County Clerk, a fine candidate, an upcomer in the Democratic Party. She's getting a lot of statewide recognition already, and she hasn't even launched her campaign. In fact, she's launching it tonight. Those of you who know and been watching my weekly wonks and all my other stuff, that I've been talking about a county clerk race for quite some time, because we came tantalizingly close to winning that race 4 years ago. And it was kind of a surprise in a race that didn't have a lot of effort and time behind it. But now with this campaign, with Emily Essi, I think you're going to see a very active campaign that's going to really talk about modernizing and changing and bringing a new generation of leadership into county government. I think you're going to really enjoy her interview. We're still waiting on the New York State budget. As of today, Wednesday night, when I recorded this little segment, there's still no budget, though we are being told it's close. Maybe by this weekend, maybe by my commissioner in the car next Tuesday, we'll have some ideas of what's in the budget and how that helps elections. And we're continuing our hearing process at the Onondaga County Board of Elections. Most of the hearings have not been surprising. In fact, they've gone along the recommendations from our bipartisan staff. We're going to be finishing that up on Friday, and then on Thursday we have a court case as well. So by next week we will have a final list of races for the primaries in Onondaga County for the June primary. So that being said, that's a quick roundup. I'm going to get you to my interview with Emily Essi, who's running for Onondaga County Clerk. And please stay and enjoy the interview. Bye-bye. And we're back, and I'm very happy to have my good friend Emily Essi. I met Emily this year, and she is running for county clerk. She's an incredible candidate. I'm so happy to have her come on Zoom with Czarny. Emily, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. So sweet. Nice introduction.
Well, that's what this is about. It's about introducing you. You're a first-time candidate, and you're running for county clerk, which is a big office. But before we get into all of that, I think the people want to know, who is Emily Essi? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, Emily Essi, I was born and raised here in Syracuse. I'm from the East Side, true local, true native. I went to Ed Smith, Levy, and Nottingham, and grew up right around the Westcott area. I come from a family of immigrants. My father came here from Jordan. He immigrated in the 70s. Jordan is a very tiny country in the Middle East, for those who don't know, right near Syria and Lebanon. And yeah, like I said,
not just the town and village out in the eastern part of our county, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not to be confused with. Yeah, and my mom is actually from DeWitt, so she is a local as well. She went to JD. My dad went to Nottingham. So even though he immigrated here, we're all locals. Yeah, so after Nottingham, I graduated and I decided I really wanted to leave the country. So I left and I went up to Montreal and I did an undergrad up at McGill. I did an international development Bachelor of Arts, and then quickly moved back home and did a Master of Public Administration here right in our backyard at Syracuse University. Great program. It was a year long, intensive, no breaks, and I graduated and then hit the road with my career. I spent most of my 20s traveling and working, trying to get experience in other countries. I was, trying to get on that international development path. I did some time in South Africa working at a nonprofit in Cape Town, and then moved over to the Peace Corps in Ukraine. And I was there for about 2.5 years. Yeah, so just a lot of community development and doing as much as I could in different places. And I really gained a lot of perspective that I think, moving back home, I think it's helped me have just a broader perspective on life.
And so you're back here now. By the way, I went to H.W. Smith Levy
Okay.
so I was the other Smith. So
Yep.
we were many years apart though, but that I was the other Smith. But but you're back in Syracuse now, and where do you work now?
So after the Peace Corps, I moved back home to the U.S. home, moved down to the city, and I was working at the Harlem Children's Zone. And then when the pandemic hit, I quickly realized just how much I wanted and needed to be home. So now I've been working at home headquarters for the past little over 2 years, and I've been working as a grant and data specialist there, helping the program and contract team with compliance, managing our grants and reporting and making sure that, we're in compliance with all of our funding contracts.
So you're one of the pandemic stories. There was a lot of these stories where younger people were moving into Syracuse during the pandemic from bigger cities for economic opportunities, but also to be home with their families as well. And so you're
Absolutely.
part of that, right?
Absolutely. I absolutely loved working down in the city. I loved my job at the Harlem Children's Zone. But, having all of these experiences in other places, something that I always felt was this almost like this longing for the impact in my own community. I was always an outsider in whatever community I was working in. And that really, I missed my family when I was in New York and had the opportunity, obviously living in New York City, to travel back home and spend a lot of time going back and forth. And I just realized, this is my home and this is the community that I care about. And I do not regret it. I'm so happy to be back. I love Syracuse and I love living here. So thanks for having me back, Syracuse.
Well, it's glad to have you back, Emily. So you're running for county clerk. It's a county-wide position. Before we get in, well, you know what? Let's get right into that. So why should people care about the county clerk race? I'm sure many people don't even know what it does. But why do you think people should care about this race?
That's absolutely true. A lot of people, A, don't really know what the county clerk does, and B, if they do know, they don't realize that it's an elected position. I think the county clerk is actually one of the oldest elected positions in our government. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it's actually what they call the constitutional offices. So you have DA, sheriff, and county clerk. County exec is not a constitutional office as prescribed by the New York State Constitution. It's one of the only three that are named in our New York State Constitution as every county must have.
There you go. And the county clerk, it's really almost the keeper of our history in the county. I say we, I'm not there yet. The counny clerk
it's okay. We're going to wish cast this. We're going to get this.
Yes. What's that word? Manifesting, right? But like I said, the keeper of, land documents and, deeds and mortgages, and you can get a passport at the county clerk. The county clerk runs the DMV. The county clerk impacts every citizen's daily life, whether they realize it or not. And there are programs that, within the county clerk's office that I think they don't even realize it's a county clerk initiative. People should care about it because our county is really diverse. Our elected officials should represent that. And I want to be a part of that change. I think it's important to have more Democrats in positions of, elected positions in our county. Yeah.
So what do you think about your background is going to lead you to be successful as our next county clerk?
I've given a lot of thought to this question, and it's an elected position, and I'm counting on the community to believe in me. But at the end of the day, I have to believe in myself too. And I really thought about, why am I qualified for this position? And the truth is, it's an administrative role, and there are some really specific skills that I believe the county clerk needs to have. I think, it's a customer service oriented department. So being able to work with people and to understand the needs of the community, I think that's really important. Being able to manage programs and have innovative ideas for new programs. Because yes, this is a historic position and it's a historic department, but what are we doing to modernize the department? So I think that will be really important if I'm elected, to focus on those components. And, it's administrative. So being able to manage a team, being able to think strategically and effectively and economically, managing the budget. I think I have, I keep saying I have the experience. My resume proves it, and I'm happy to talk more about it. But I have experience, managing grants and creating and implementing programs, not for nothing, in a foreign country and in a foreign language, with people that I have to build relationships with and build community with. So I really do believe that my background has given me the skills and the foundation to be successful in this role.
Yeah, I think that's that's why when I first met you and you were thinking about running for this is why I was very impressed with your background and the diverse, in not just not just in the traditional sense of diversity, but in your skill set, in the different roles that you've done, because the county clerk is like a jack of all trades. You're doing a little bit of everything in our county, and you're doing it with not a lot of praise and not a lot of spotlight, but it could be more. It could definitely be more. But and I think the people that have been following this podcast and some of my writings on my website know that the county clerk has actually been a race that we've almost won a couple of different times as Democrats. We have a purple county that votes blue in even years, and in odd years sometimes still votes blue. I mean, we've won several judge races countywide, several the sheriff's race. We've won the county comptroller's race 4 years ago. We got within 5 points of winning the county clerk race 5 years ago or 4 years ago. So, but it is a county-wide race. So what are you looking to do to put together a winning campaign for this race?
That's a great point, about being purple, and it just speaks again to the diversity that I was talking about in our county. I think, first of all, I have a great team that I've started to put together. I'm really proud of the people that I've been able to pull in. Having a great campaign manager and, almost an assistant campaign manager. So maybe even to say 2 campaign managers. I think we're really focusing on analyzing the voters. So, I come from a background where I'm working with data all the time, and I want to use that to my advantage in this race. I want to look at who are our swing voters, what suburban families out there are, not stuck on the Republican line. How can I build relationships and, get myself out there and communicate with the whole county, and to energize them to understand that I'm the right candidate. It is tough. We're going against an incumbent. This is her second term. She's running for her third. And I understand that challenge. But I think if we're looking at the data and we're being strategic in how we're targeting our universes, I think we'll have a chance. And I think we'll be able to swing some of those, they might be Republican on paper, but they might have some ideals and values that align with us.
So you've touched on this a little bit, but what are some of the things that you're hoping to do when you win? Your first term. What are the obviously we have a whole campaign to go, and there's a lot of things that are that are going to change throughout this campaign. But at this point, what are some of the things that you're looking at as wanting to tackle in your first year in office?
Sure. So like I mentioned, in my opinion, this department is a customer service department. I think analyzing, what services are we providing and where are there gaps in service and who's lacking access to our services, that should be a priority. Are we getting out to the rural areas? Do we have mobile services? Do we have things like translation services? We have a large community of refugees and new Americans. Are we reaching them at the county clerk's office? I think that would be my number one priority, is focusing on service delivery. And then from there, there's so many ways that can branch out. I think the county, the clerk's office has a lot of opportunity to collaborate with other agencies for more innovative programs. We've seen, there's the veteran program. I believe the county clerk collaborated with the police department on some programs. I think there's a lot more room for that. And in order to be innovative and bring more attention to the county clerk's office and what services we provide, I think that would be a great component to keep exploring.
Yeah, I love that idea about mobile office hours. I haven't seen any real county department do a great deal about that, including my county department, just because
it's difficult. Yeah,
it's difficult to do, and but as an elected official for the county clerk, unlike other county department heads, you're going to have a lot more control over that. So I love that that's part of your game plan, so to speak, when you get in there.
Absolutely. And I think, it all speaks to modernizing the department. I mean, things like just even the website. I know that it lives on the county website. There's a page for the county clerk, but those types of things even, relate to the access issue. Is it user friendly? It's 2023. Our county should be in 2023, and our website should, I think some revamping is due.
Yeah, and as a county department head, I can tell you that. Yeah, we live on the county IT shell, but we decide as county departments what's in those pages, and I mean, if you go to the BOE page, it's incredibly extensive, and we work with that. It really depends on what the department wants to do. I mean, yeah, you got to work through the county resources, but the IT department is willing to do just about anything you want.
I'm sure.
If as long as it's secure. So as you're formulating your plan and working and getting out there, what are some of the things that you're hoping that you need from the public, right? I mean, this is not a campaign that can be won by yourself. You have a kickoff coming up soon, right?
That's right.
What's tell me about that.
So on Thursday of this coming week,
the day this is airing, yep, this will be that night, yep.
Tonight, yes. I got myself. So tonight we will be having our kickoff event. I'm very excited about it. The point is really, I want to get out into the community, introduce myself, and just do exactly what we're doing now. I want to introduce myself. I want to energize the community, get people to be excited about the county clerk's office. I mean, I can speak for myself and my, little bubble of people. We've got a lot of work to do to get people excited about the county clerk. I just know that, just like you said earlier, a lot of people don't really know what the clerk's office does. And I'm excited to get out there and introduce that to the community. But in terms of support, I'm really looking for people to be enthusiastic about change. I think having more Democrats in elected positions is more important than ever right now. And I'm passionate about that. And I think our county is too, and it's time to show up for that and make it happen.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And I think what people don't realize is that when people like yourself are willing to put your name on the line, and put your life on hold for a year to run for an office, you're not doing it necessarily for glory. This is not like, you're out there because you want to make the world a better place. And it's not like you don't got a lot of stuff going on. You're getting married in a month, right?
That's right. Less than a month, in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. And you still can't believe that?
Yeah, I said something like that, but yes, I still can't believe that.
So I
I'm
mean, like,
excited.
you got a lot going on, and you've decided that with all that stuff going on and moving back to Syracuse, and you want to be a greater part of this community, and that's admirable. And I want to thank you for that because it's tough to put your name on the line, and put your family through a lot of a lot of nights that you're going to be out knocking doors and talking to people, and you could be just deciding to just live your best life, and you're not. You're giving it up to serve your community. I find that admirable.
Thank you. And when you say that out loud, it's funny to hear you say that, but to me, this is living my best life. I do feel like, I'm passionate about our community and passionate about winning this race. And this is me living my best life.
That's awesome.
Maybe I shouldn't admit that, but
No, it's okay because we're both a couple of nerds, and it's okay to do that. But you know what? That's what people want in these offices. They want people that are passionate about the office, not just using it as a stepping stone to get somewhere else, and wanting to deliver services to the people. And that's good government, and that's why we should have campaigns to have those discussions. Well, we're getting kind of near the end of what I like to have is the length of this podcast, but I always end with my final question, which is, what haven't we talked about? What is something that we haven't talked about tonight that you really desperately want the public to know about yourself, your campaign, the office, whatever you want?
yeah, this is a tough question.
It is.
Well, something I really want to talk about. I'm just going to load myself up like that. No, to be honest, I think it's important to talk about just the fact that this is a really winnable race. I think, at first I was really feeling maybe shy or timid to have that kind of confidence. But, the more I'm getting into this and meeting people and meeting with different committees across the county, we need to talk about how winnable this county clerk position is and what we can do for the county. I think there needs to be more awareness of that simple fact. And I think if everyone gets on board and, the support is there, it's going to happen in November. And I feel really good about that.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, I think that I've actually been using the county clerk race as one of my standard races in my weekly walks for the last couple of years because it is a race where we got tantalizingly close 4 years ago,
Right.
and really there was with no, it was an afterthought race. There was a county exec race going on, a county comptroller race going on, and
Sure.
and so 4 years ago, the county was not as blue as it is now, and it was within 5 points. I think it was like 4.7 points, and we did in that same year win the county comptroller. We've won judges countywide, even Congress. We won in Onondaga County, a couple of times over the last couple of cycles, even though we ended up losing in the other counties. Well, the other counties aren't part of this race. It's just Onondaga County. And
Right.
even in odd years, we have a really good track record of putting people in office countywide for judges and also with the county comptroller and the sheriff now. So we actually have a really good chance at any county race, and especially this one.
Absolutely. And, I know we talk so much about blue versus red, but at the end of the day, I want people to realize that I'm the right candidate, not just I'm a Democrat. I do think that this is a position that a lot can happen in. And I have the momentum right now. I have the drive. I think, I want people to believe in me as a candidate and not just as the Democratic candidate from either side.
Yeah, I think that's right because you can't like the county clerk race. While Democrats and Republicans have different philosophies on many different things, I think it's modern versus status quo. It's change versus stagnant. That's probably the choice that we're looking at here, and I'm excited to see someone who's embracing modernization and change because that's something that county government always needs.
Absolutely.
So, Emily, where can people find you on the web Facebook, Twitter, all of that.
You can find me, my website is emilyessi.com, and you can also find me on Instagram, Vote Emily Essi, and also on Facebook, Vote Emily Essi. So I've got to get my Twitter set up, but it'll also be Vote Emily Essi.
Okay. Well, but all of that will be in the show notes, and so you don't have to write it down. We're going to put it right in there, and you can click on it, follow her, go to her kickoff event tonight.
5:30.
5:30. Where is it?
505 Westcott Street.
Okay. So it's is that Moonshots or is it?
Yes.
No?
Yep.
Yeah. So 505 Westcott. It's going to be a great time. And please go there and participate and make sure that, when you meet Emily, you're going to say, I want to work for her. I know it. So just go there and help her out. And Emily, thank you so much for putting your name forward, for spending some time with us tonight, and for running for county clerk.
Thank you so much. This has been really great chatting with you.
And that was my interview with Emily Essi, who is an incredible candidate for Onondaga County Clerk. Please make sure you go and like and follow her. She's got a great amount of momentum already, and I think she's going to be a very surprising candidate this fall. And you'll be able to find her on the Democratic line, and maybe some other lines as well. We're going to have to see how that goes. So next week, this weekend on the weekly walk, I'll be doing the town of DeWitt, as I have already up there on DustinCharny.com. I have the town of Clay that I did this last weekend. My next commissioner in the car will be on the wrapping up of the hearing process, a preview of the primary, and maybe some New York State budget news. Who knows? That'll be next Tuesday. And then next week, I will not be doing a Zoom with Czarny because I'll be doing a Czarny seminar. I'll be doing a Czarny seminar on how to vote absentee in this year's elections. I didn't get to do my seminar. I usually do these once a month, but there was nothing to really do this on in April. But in May, I'm going to be talking about absentee voting in this year's primary and general election. So stay tuned for that seminar, and then I'll be back with Zoom and Czarny and candidate interviews in the following weeks. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day.